Siva Siva.
Katho Upanishad is one of the 10 principal Upanishads out of the 108 Upanishads we have so far. Adi Shankaracharya has commented upon this Upanishad. The date of the Upanishad is around 500 years before Christ, and it precedes Bhagavad Gita. The entire Upanishad consists of 2 chapters, each chapter having 3 sections. In total, it has 119 verses. This Upanishad is arranged through a dialogue between Lord Yama, the Lord of Death, and Nachiketa, a young Brahmin boy. Nachiketa wanted to know the secret of life after death, which he asks from Yama through 3 boons granted by Yama to his devotee, that is Nachiketa. I shall read out the Sanskrit verse and shall decipher the meaning and give the best translation possible with a brief explanation verse after verse. So the first verse starts like this. Ushan ha vai vajasra vasaha sarva vedasam tadau tasya ha nachiketa nama putra asa. Usanhavai is desirous, Vajasravasaha, son of Vajasravaha, that is the name of a rishi. Sarva Vedasam, all that he possessed. Tadau, gave. Tasya, her, to him. Nachiketa, that is Nachiketa. Nama, by name. Putra, son. Asa, there was. The exact translation. Once desirous of heaven, the son Vajasravaha, Gautama, gave in a sacrifice all that he possessed. He had a son, Nachiketa, by name. So the verse is simple. Nachiketa's father was doing a sacrifice and was giving all the gifts to various people which he possessed. He was supposedly a Brahmin king. The next verse. Tam kumaram santam dakshinasu niyamanasu shraddha avivesha so amanyata. Tam him, kumaram son, santam good, dakshinasu the presents, niyamanasu being distributed, shraddha anxiety, filial anxiety, avivesha entered, sahahi anyata thought. The translation is, when the presents were being distributed, filial anxiety entered the heart of Nachiketa, who was still a boy, and he thought. Explanation is, as the presents were being distributed by his father, some sort of an anxiety entered the boy's mind as he was there witnessing the distribution of presents. The next verse. Pidotaka Jagga Trina Dugga Doha Nir Indriyaha Ananda Namate Lokastansa Gacchati Ta Tadad. Pidodakaha, the cows which have already drunk, for the last time. They have drunk all the water for the last time. Gan Jugda Jagda Trinaha. Jagda Trinaha. Eaten grass. Dugda Dohaha. Dugda milk. Dugda Dohaha. Have yielded all their milk. Dohaha. Nir Indriyaha. Barren. They don't have Indriyas. Nir Indriyaha. Ananda. Joyless. Nama. Verily. Te. Those. Lokaha. Those worlds. Tan. Them. Sahahi. Gachati. Goes. Saha. Them. Tadad. Presence. The exact translation is, these cows have drunk water for the last time, eaten grass for the last time, have yielded all their milk for the last time, are barren. Joyless verily are the worlds which he attains who gives these presents in a yagya. The explanation is, Nachiketa sees his father giving invalid presents. Cows which are very old, they have eaten for the last time, they have drunk water for the last time, they have yielded milk for the last time. So if these presents are given, then they will go only to the joyless worlds. That is, not to heaven, but to world without any joy. This was the anxiety, the filial anxiety that entered the boy's mind. This is the explanation. We shall go to the next verse. Sa ho vacha pitaram tat kasmai mam dasya iti iti. Dvitiyam tritiyam tam ho vacha mrutyave tvam dadami iti. Sahovacha, saha he, uvacha said, pitaram unto sir, tata then, kasmai to whom, mam me, dasyati iti, dasyati will give, iti thus. Dvitiyam second, for the second, tritiyam for the third. Tam ho vacha, tam to him, ha uvacha said, mrutyave unto death, tvam you, that is thee, dadami I will give, iti thus. The exact translation is, he said unto his sire, that is father, Father, to whom wilt thou give me? He said this again and again, for the second time, for the third time. The father, enraged, unto death I shall give you, said. The explanation is, he asked his father, while his father was giving presents, seeing the invalid presents, to whom will you give me, father? And the father got angry perhaps and said, unto death I will give you. That is, I am cursing you. You have to go to the Lord of death. Something like that he cursed his son in an anger. Bahunamemi prathamo, bahunamemi madhyamaha, kim svid yamasya karthavyam yanmaya adya karishyati. Bahuna of many, emi I go, prathamaha first, bahuna of many, emi I go, madhyamaha midmost. Kims with what? Yamasya for death, karthavyam to do, has got the duty to do, yat which maya by me, adya now, karishyati can do. The exact translation. Nachiketa thought, okay, the exact translation. Of many I go the first. Of many I go midmost. What is there for death to do, which he now can do by me? Explanation is, Nachiketa thinks, what is there for death to do with me? Because of the many I may be the first, of many I am the midmost. My father, by offering me to death, what death Lord Yama can do through me or with me? We shall go to the next verse. Anupashya yatha purve pratipashya tatha apare sasyamiva martyah pachyate sasyamiva ajayate punah. Nachiketa says things and tells his father the exact translation. Anupashya, remember, yatha, how, purve, forefathers, our forefathers, prati pashya, consider, tatha, thus, apare, others, sasyam iva, like on, martyaha, mortals, the human beings, pachyate, decays, perishes, rottens, sasyam, corn, iva, like, ajayate, born, come back, punaha, again. The exact translation is, Nachiketa tells his father, remember how our forefathers acted. Consider also how others do now. Like corn decays the mortal, and like corn is born again. This is the exact translation. The explanation is, Nachiketa probably extends his discussion with his father and tells, because he was taken aback when his father asked him to go to death, remember how our forefathers did. Remember how the current, the present people are doing. Then he gives a general statement. Sasyameva, like corn, men die, and sasyameva, they are born again. Men enter the birth and cycle, death and cycle, birth, death cycle. So, like corn, they are born, and like corn, they decay. So, while his father was giving presents, he was probably suggesting to his father, just to think about what our forefathers were doing and what people are doing right now. They were not giving any invalid presents. They were not giving any cows which were barren. We shall go to the next verse. Vaishwa naraha previ shati atiti brahmano grihan tasyaitam shantim kurvanti hara Vaivasvato Dagam. Vaishwanaraha, like fire. Previ Shati, enters. Atithihi, guests. Brahmanaha, Brahmin. Krihan, houses. Tasya, to him, of him. Etam, these. Shanti, quieten. Kurvanti, they do. Hara, fetch. Vaivasvata, O Vaivasvata, Udagam, water. Exact translation. A Brahmin guest enters a house like fire. Men give this to quieten him. Vaivasvata, fetch water. The explanation is, so probably Nachiketa is ready to go to heaven, to the abode of death, which is Lord Yama. And when any Brahmin guests enters a house, they enter like a fire. Vaishwa Naraha, they enter like a fire. And in order to quieten them, in order to appease them, water is given first, which is the custom widely prevalent even today in North India and also in South India to an extent. So water is given first, it is offered first when a Brahmin guest enters a house. We shall see the next. Asha pratikshe sangatam sunrutam cha ishtapurte putra pashumscha sarvan etat vringte purushasya alpa medhaso yasya anashnan vasati brahmano grihe. Asha, hope. Pratikshe, expectation. Sangatam, company of good men. Sunrutam, in friendly discourses. Cha, and Ishtapurte, sacrifices with gifts to appease their desires. Putra, sons. Pashun, cattle. Cha, and Sarvan, all. Ye tad, this. Vrinte, are destroyed. Purushasya, to the person, to the man. Alpamedasaha, Medhavi, Alpamedasaha, one who is ignorant. Alpamedasaha, Yasya, to whom, Anashnan, without taking food. Vasadi, stays. Brahmano, Brahmins, Grihe, in the house. The exact translation is hope, expectations, company with good men, friendly discourses, sacrifices and fruits of pious gifts, sons and cattle. All these are destroyed in the case of an ignorant man in whose house a Brahmin stays without taking food. Now let us see the explanation. It's very simple. That is, if a Brahmin guest enters a house and he stays there without food being offered or without he taking food, then all is destroyed to that person. He becomes that person is an ignorant person. All is destroyed. That is, hopes, his expectations, the company with good men, friendly discourses, sons, cattle, and the fruits he has obtained through pious sacrifices. Everything is destroyed if a Brahmin guest stays in his house without taking any food. Let us go to the next verse. Yama says to Nachiketa, Tisro Ratrir Ya Davatsir Grihe Me Tisro Ratri Yat Avatsi Grihe Me Anashnan Brahman Atitithi Namasyah Namaste Astu Brahman Swasti Me Astu Tasmat Prati Treen Varan Vrinishwar. Tisraha, 3. Ratrihi, nights. Yat Avasihi, have dwelt. Grihe, in the house. Me, mine. Anashnan, without taking food. Brahman, O Brahmin. Atitihi, guest. Namasya, one who is revered, venerable. Namasya, Namaha, prostrations. Te, unto thee. Astu, be. Brahman, O Brahmin. Swasti, good. Me, to me. Astu, befall. Become. Tasmat, therefore, Prati, in return, three, Varan, boon, Vrinishwar. You choose. The translation is, Yama said, O Brahmin, thou, a fit, venerable guest, hast dwelt in my house 3 nights without eating. Therefore, choose now 3 boons in return, O Brahmin, my prostrations unto thee. May good befall me. So Yama feels actually, explanation is, Yama feels actually he has committed a sin. He wants to atone for it. What is a sin is, a young Brahmin boy has stayed in his house without taking food and water, whatever it is, for 3 days and nights. So as an atonement, he considers Nachiketa as a venerable one, and he prostrates, he offers his prostrations and grants 3 boons as an atonement in return for the Brahmin boy staying at his house without taking food. Now let us go to the next verse. Shanta Sankalpaha Sumana Yatha Syad Amanyu Gautamo Ma Abhi Mrutho Tvat Prasrishtam Ma Abhivadet Pratita Ma Abhivadet Pratita Edat Trayanam Prathamam Varam Vrine. Now Nachiketa says, he is asking the Prathamam Varam. Explanation is, Shanta Sankalpaha, specified, Sumana, be kind, Yatha Syat, be, Yatha Syat, Vita Manyuhu, free from anger, Gautama, Gautama, Ma, me, Abhi, towards, Mrityo, O death, O Yama, Tvat, by you, Prasrishtam, sent by you, sent away, Ma, me, Abhi, Vadet, should greet, Pratita, know me, recognize me, Etat, this, Trayanam, of the 3, Prathamam, first, Varam, boon, Vrine, I choose. The exact translation is, Nachiketa said, O death, as the first of the 3 boons, I choose that Gautama, my father, be pacified, be appeased, be kind and free from anger towards me, and that he may know me and greet me when I am sent away by you. The explanation is very simple. The first of the 3 boons he asks, Nachiketa, and he said, O death, as the first of the 3 boons, when I am sent away by you, my father should not get angry with me. He should recognize me. He should be pacified. He should recognize me. He should greet me. Then sent away by you. Now let us go to the next verse. Yatha Purastad Bhavita Pratita Auda Likha Arunir Mat Prasrishtaha Sukham Ratrihi Shayita Vitamanyus Tvam Dadr Shivan mrityu mukhat pramuktam. Yatha, as, purastat, before, bhavita, will be, pratita, recognize, Audalikaha, that is another name for Gautama, descendant of Audalika, Arunir, son of Aruna, Mat, by me, Prasrishta, released, Mukham, Sukham, peacefully, Ratrihi, nights, Shayita, will, Vitamanyuhu, free from anger, Tvam, you, Dadr Shivan. From the word Dadr Shivan comes from the word Drishtaha. When he sees Dadr Shivan, Mrityu Mukhat, from the jaws of death, Pramuktam, released. The exact translation is, Yama says to Nachiketa, through my favor, Audaliki, the son of Aruna, will recognize you as before. He will sleep peacefully at night. And when he sees you released from the mouth of death, will lose his anger. The explanation is, Yama tells Nachiketa, oh dear, okay my Brahmin boy, venerable one, do not worry. When I release you, when you are released, you will go to your father, and on seeing you, your father will be free from anger. He will recognize you because you have come from the abode of death. He will recognize you free from anger. He will also sleep peacefully at night, and he will also lose his anger hereafter towards you. He would never be angry with you hereafter. So do not worry. This is what Yama tells Nachiketa. Swarghe loke na bhayam kincha nasti, na tatra tvam na jaraya pibheti, ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipase, shokadigo modate swargaloke. Swargaloke, in the heaven, na bhayam, no fear, kinchana, any, asti, there is, na, not, tatra, there, tvam, you are, na, not, jaraya, old age, pibheti, they fear, ubhe, both, tirtva, having crossed, asanaya, hunger, pipase, thirst, shokadigaha, above grief, modate, rejoices, swargaloke, in the heaven. The exact translation is, in heaven there is no fear, you are not there, nor they do have any fear of old age. Having crossed both hunger and fear, one in heaven rejoices, being above grief. The explanation is, heaven is the finest place. There is no fear of old age. Death is not there. Nachiketa tells Yama, you are not there. That means death is not there, old age is not there, fear is not there. Having crossed both hunger and thirst, one really is joyful, rejoices in the heaven. Now we shall go to the next verse. Sa tvam agni swargya madhyeshi mrityo prabhuhi tvam shraddha dhanaya makhyam sarva loka amrutatvam bhajante etat dvitiyena vrine varena. Nachiketa asks his second boon. The translation exactly is as it is. O death, thou, knowest the fire which leads to heaven, explain to me, who am enthusiastic, that fire by which those whose world is heaven attain immortality. I pray for this, my second boon. The explanation here is beautiful. Nachiketa asks Yama, please tell me that fire which leads to heaven, where that heaven belongs to persons of immortality. They don't die. They are eternal. So I know that you know that fire which leads to heaven. And this is my second boon. That is, it appears that Yama is the person who knows that fire, that light which leads to heaven, and no other gods or no other forces. And Nachiketa knows that Yama knows that. So Nachiketa cleverly asks that second boon, through the second boon, that fire which leads to heaven. Probably heaven is the place of immortality, and Nachiketa wants to know, finally attain heaven. So he very cleverly asks Yama the second boon. We shall go to the next verse. Prate brevimi tad me nibodha swargya magni nachiketah prajanan ananta loka thi matho pratishtam viddhi tvametam nihitam kuhayam. Now Yama says, exact translation is, I will tell thee well, I will tell thee, attend to me, listen to me, O Nachiketa, I know the fire leading to heaven. Know the fire which leads to heaven, and also the support of the universe, and that which is seated in the cavity. Explanation is, Nachiketa was advised by Yama. Yama answers Nachiketa, dear Nachiketa, I know the fire which leads to heaven. That fire which also supports the universe. That is the fire which supports the universe. And that which is seated in the cavity. Here Yama does not directly refer to the heart as a cavity, but he says that which is seated in the cavity. Later on we will see the cavity Yama explains is Hridayam, that is deep inside the heart. So I know that fire which is seated in the heaven, which leads to heaven, which supports the entire universe, without which the fire will not exist, and I will tell you. He is going to explain that fire. Yama explains in the next verse. Lokadi magni tamuvacha tasmai ya ishtaka yavatirva yathava sa chapi tat pratya vadatyatokham atha asya mrityuhu punarevaha tushtaha. The meaning deciphered is, Lokadim, the source of the world, Agnihi, fire, the fire sacrifice, Tam, to him, Uvacha, said, Tasmai, to him, Yah, what, Ishtakah, bricks, Yavatihi, how many, Va, and Yathava, and how to be placed, Saha, he, Cha, and Api, also, Tat, that, Pratyavadat, repeated back, Pratyavadat, Yathoktam, as explained, same. Ataha, so, asya, him, mrityuhu, yama, punareva, again, aha, said, tushtaha, pleased. Yama then explained to Nachiketa that fire sacrifice, the source of the worlds, what bricks are required for the altar, for the yaga, how many and how they are to be placed. And Nachiketa repeated back, verbatim, as explained, all that was explained. Then Yama, being pleased with him, said again, Punaha. The explanation is, Yama explains to Nachiketa how to create the fire, how many bricks are required, how the bricks have to be placed, and that fire which is the source of the world. And Nachiketa listened to him carefully, repeated back verbatim. Yama was pleased, and Yama said again. We shall see that in the next verse. Tam abravit priyamano mahatma varam tavehadya dadami bhuyah tavaiva namna bhavita yamagnihi srinkam che mama neka rupam grihana. Mam aneka rupam grihana. The exact deciphered meaning. Tam, him, abravit, said, priyamanaha, satisfied, mahatma, magnanimous, varam, boon, tava, to you, iha, here, adya, now, dadami, I give, bhuyah, another, tava eva, after thee, namna, by name, bhavita, shall become, shall be, I am, this, agnihi, fire, srinkam, chains, ornament chain, srinkam, cha, and imam, these, anekaha rupam, different forms and colors. Grihana, accept, thou take. The exact text translated is, satisfied, Yama, the magnanimous, spoke to him. I give this other boon. This fire sacrifice shall be named after thee, you. And take thou this many-colored chain. Explanation. Yama was pleased by the way the boy, Nachiketa, repeated back the entire method, and he told him, this fire shall be named after you. It will be called as Nachiketa fire, and here is this many-colored, multicolored chain from me as a present to you. So Yama offers a present. Present means he offers further knowledge. Technically we can take philosophically as further knowledge he offers. He offers him the multicolored srinkam, the chain, multi-forms, multicolored. That means various other knowledges also he imparts. Next, Yama goes on. He continues in the next verse. Trinachiketaha tribihi etya sandhi tri karma krit tarati janma mrityu brahmajagnyam devam idhyam viditva nichaya imam shanti atyantam yeti. The meaning is Trinachiketaha, performed Nachiketa fire 3 times. Trinachiketah. Tribihi. With 3. Etya Sandhi. Etya Sandhi here means has been united. 3. Again 3. Karma Krit. One who has performed the duties. He is called Karma Krit. Karati. Crosses. Janma Mrityu. Birth and death. Brahmajagnyam. Born of Brahma, Brahman. Devam, bright, means here fire. Idhyam, adorable person. Idhyam, viditva, having understood. Nichaya, realizing. Imam, this. Shanti, peace. Atyantam, everlasting, eternal. Eti, attains. The exact translation here is, whoever performs 3 times this sacrifice of called Nachiketa fire and has been united with the 3 and has performed the 3 duties, overcomes birth and death. When he has understood this adorable, bright, omniscient fire born of Brahman and realized him, then he obtains everlasting peace. Therefore, Yama tells Nachiketa that one who has performed 3 times this Nachiketa Yagya, fire Yagya, and who has been united with the 3, probably Mata, Pita and Guru Daivam, united with the 3, and has performed the 3 duties, probably the Sandhya Vandana, the 3 duties, overcomes birth and death. He attains immortality. He is never born again into this world. When he has understood this adorable bright Devam fire, omniscient fire, born of a Brahman, and he has realized him, then he obtains everlasting peace. Therefore, there is no death, total bliss and peace if he realizes this everlasting fire. We shall go to the next verse. Yama continues. Trinachiketas trayame viditva ya evam vidvans chinute nachiketam sa mrityu pashan puratah pranodya shokadigo modate swargaloke. Trinachiketah, performing thrice the Nachiketa fire, Trayam 3, Etat these, Viditva having known, Yahu, thus, Vidwan the knower, Chinute performs, Nachiketam. Nachiketam means Nachiketah tam, Nachiketa fire, Sahahi, Mrityu Pashat. Mrityu Pashat, from the jaws of death. Mrityu Pashat, from the jaws of chains of death. Purataha, before. Pranodya, throwing away. Shokadigaha, free from sorrow. Shoka, sorrow. Shokadigaha. Modate, rejoices, enjoys. Swarga Loke, in the heaven. Sanskrit translation. He who knows the 3 Nachiketa fire with this knowledge throws off the chains of death, goes beyond sorrows and rejoice in the heaven. The explanation is, Yama again extends his statement further to the previous one, that anyone who knows this Nachiketa fire, they go beyond the sorrows. They are free from the chains of death. That is, they would not enter the birth and the cycle, the birth and the death cycle. The cycle of birth and death, joys, sorrows, and they only rejoice in the heaven. Only rejoice. So he extends his argument further. We'll go to the next verse. Yama continues. Yesha te agnir nachiketah swargyo yama vrinitha dvitiyena varena eta magni tavaiva pravakshanti janas tritiyam varam nachiketo vrinishva. The word meaning is, Esha, this, take to you, Agnihi, fire, Nachiketaha, O Nachiketa, Swargyo, Swargam, that leads to heaven, Yam, which, Avrinitaha, you have chosen. Vrinishva, Avrinitaha, you have chosen. Dvitiyena, by the second, Varena, boon, Etam, this, Agnihi, fire, Tavaiva, you alone, Pravakshanti, will call, Janasaha, people, Tritiyam, the third, Varam, boon, Nachiketo, O Nachiketa, Vrinishwa, you choose. The exact translation is, this is tri-fire, three fire, this is tri-fire, O Nachiketa, which leads to heaven, and which you asked for, craved for, by the second boon. People will call this fire thine, you alone, thine alone, O Nachiketa, demand the third boon. Explanation is, Yama continues, this is the tri-fire, the Nachiketa fire. People will call this as the Nachiketa fire, and if you know this fire only leads to heaven. This fire only leads to heaven, and which you were enthusiastic about it, which you craved for, which you wanted very badly. So I have given you this entire secrets of that fire which leads to heaven. So there is an, I have written in one article wherein it speaks of that fire is the photons, the light. The particles in the light, that is the photons, are copycats of each other. There is no difference, and they are eternal. They don't decay. So once you attend heaven, you have crossed everything. No differences in life between human beings or between any species, and it is eternal. You don't decay, and that is what it is. Now we shall go to the very important third boon which Nachiketa asks. Eyam prete vichikitsa manushye astityeke na mastiti chaike edat vidyam anusishtatvaya ham varanameva varaskritiya. Ya, that, iyam, this, prete, pretam, dead, when dead, vichikitsa, doubt, manushye, people, asti, he is, iti, thus, eke, some, na ayam asti, he is not there, na ayam, this is not there. Iti, thus, eke, some among men, etat, this, vidya, this vidyam, I would like to know, vidyam, anusishtaha, taught, tvaya, by you, aham, I, varanam, of the, among the boons, esha, this, varaha, boon, tritiyaha, the third. The exact translation is, there is that doubt when a man is dead. Some say he is, and some say he is not. This I should like to know, taught by you. This is the third of my boon I ask for. This is the very important boon which subsequently Yama is very reluctant. The explanation to this boon is, this boy Nachiketa wanted to know the state of soul after death. So he says, when a man is dead, amongst men some people say that he is dead. Some say no, he is not dead. That means Nachiketa wanted to know whether the body is dead or what happens to the soul after death. Because all of a sudden the body stops functioning. So actually the person whose soul is not dead, that's what he means. Some say he is not dead, and some seeing only the physical body say he is dead. That means indirectly, in a poetic way, he asks this question. Prete, this pretaha, he is dead. Asti iti, asti iti eke, na asti iti chaicha eke. Na asti iti, it is not there, or asti iti, he is. He is dead, he is not dead. So I wanted to know the truth, the vidya from you only. What happens? Indirectly he asks, what happens to the soul after death? Because he is not sure about death. And Yama is the right person to teach. We shall go to the next verse. Yama says, replies, Devairatrapi vichikitsitham pura nahi suvigneya anuresha dharmaha anyam varo nachiketo vrinishva ma mo parotsirati ma srijainam. Devaihi, by the gods, atra api, even on this, vichikitsitam, have doubted, pura, olden times, nahi, it is not, suvigyeyam, easy to understand, anuhu, subtle, atom, anu, esha, this, dharmaha, principle, the truth. Anyam, another, varam, boon, nachiketo, O Nachiketa, vrinishva, choose, ma, do not, ma uparotsihi, plus me, ma uparotsihi, plus me, ma, me, ati srijaha, srijaha, ati srijaha, give up, yenam, this. The exact translation. On this point, even the gods of olden times have doubted. Verily, it is not easy to understand it. Subtle is its nature. Subtle, it is subtle. O Nachiketa, choose another boon. Do not press me on this. Give this up for me. So here, Yama appears to plead with Nachiketa, please do not press for this boon, because even the gods do not know this secret. Gods of the olden times, Purana, they do not know this. It is also not easy to understand it because it is very subtle in nature. It's an atom. It is the most minimal point. It's the most smallest subtle point. Smallest not in the philosophical meaning, smallest in the meaning of the size. It's a nanoparticle, that's what he means. Choose another boon, do not press me, please give it up. We shall go to the next verse. Nachiketa asks, Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila tvam cha mrityo Yanna suvigyeya matha vakta chasya dvadriganyo na labhyo nanyo varastulya etasya kaschit. Devaihi, by the gods, atrapi, on this point, vichikitsitam, have doubted, Kila, indeed, Tvam, cha, you also, Mrityoho, O Lord of Death, Yat, which, na, not, Suvigneyam, easy to understand. Artha, sayest. Vakta, one who tells. Cha, also. Asya, to this. Dva drik, like you. In Sanskrit we have dva drisham, da drisham, sadrisham, like this, like you. Anya, other. Na labhyaha, cannot be found. Na anya, no other. Varaha, boon. Tulya, equal. Etasya, to this. Kaschit, any. The exact translation is, thou sayest, O death, O Yama, that even the gods have doubts here, and that it is not easy to know. None other like thee, you, none other like you, who can tell of this, can be found. No other boon can at all equal this. The explanation is, O death, I understand what you say. You say that even the gods of olden times do not understand this. Very difficult to comprehend. But there is no other person competent like you who can tell regarding this. There is no other competent person I can find. No other competent person can be found who can tell about this. And no other boon can be equal to this also. So I want this. I want the third boon to be explained by you. Please grant the boon. Then Yama tempts him. The next verse. Yama is still reluctant. He does not want to give this secret. We shall go to the next verse. Sata Yushaha Putra Pautran Vrinishva Bahun Pashun Hasti Hiranyam Ashwan Bhume Mahatayatanam Vrinishva Swayam cha jiva Sharado yava dichyasi. Sharado yava dichyasi. Deciphered meaning is, Sata Yushaha Putra Pautran Vrinishwa Bahun Pashun Hasti Hiranyam Ashwan Bhumer Mahatayatanam Vrinishwa Swayam cha jiva Sharadoya vadichyasi. Satha Yushaha, who may live for 100 years. Putra Pautran, sons and grandsons. Vrinishwa, you ask for. Bahun, many. Pashun, cattle. Hasti, elephants. Hiranyam, gold. Ashwan, horses. Bhumehe, in the world. Mahataha, great. Ayatanam, dwelling place. Vrinishwa, you choose. Swayamcha, yourself. Jiva, live. Sharado, autumn, seasons, autumn, spring, autumn, winter, autumn. Yavat, as many. Ichchasi, you desire. The exact translation is, choose sons and grandsons who may live for 100 years, herds of cattle, elephants, gold, horses. Choose the wide earth, the wide place of the earth. Live yourself as many autumns as you like. The explanation is, Yama was reluctant. He hesitates. He dilly-dallies. He tempts Nachiketa by offering him sons and grandsons who can live for 100 years, who may live for 100 years. He offers him herds of cattle, elephants, horses, gold coins. He also offers him in this world a wide earth, wide place for dwelling, abode, make this entire earth as your abode of living. And he also says you can live as many autumns you want. A poetic way of saying as many years as you want, as many winters as you want, as many summers as you want, as many springs as you want. So Yama tempts Nachiketa with this offer. But let us see, Nachiketa will not relent. We shall go to the next verse. Etat tulyam yadi manyase varam vrinishva vittam chira jivikam cha mahabhumau nachiketastva medhi kamanam tvam kamabhajam karomi. Yama again says, he goes on, after offering these cattle, let us see, let us decipher. This, tulyam, equal, yadi, when, manyase, consider, varam, boon, vrinishwa, you choose, vittam, wealth, chira jivikam, long life, cha, also, mahabhumo, wide earth, Nachiketo, O Nachiketas, Tvam, you, Yedhi, become. Become means be king. Kamanam, of all desires. Tvam, you, Kama Bhajam, the enjoyer. Karomi, I shall make. The exact translation is, some other boon equal to this, if you think fit, demand, wealth and longevity. The king of the wide earth, Nachiketa, I shall make thee enjoy all thy desired. You can enjoy. The explanation is, Yama does not relent that fast. He again tempts him. He wants to test him. I will make you the king of this entire world. I will make you the enjoyer of all the desires. There is some other boons you can choose equal to this, which you think fit. You demand that. I shall give you. I shall give you longevity of life. Everything I shall give you. Yama says. Then Yama goes on. Ye ye kama durlabha martyuloke sarvan kamans chandatah prarthayasva ima ramah saratah saturya na hidrisha lambaniyah manushyaih abhir mat prattabihi paricharayasva nachiketo maranam manu prakshihi. I am deciphering. Ye, whatever, kamah, desires, durlabah, difficult, martyuloke, in the world of the mortals, sarvan, all, kaman, desires, chandatah, according to thy wish, prarthayasva, ask for, pray for, ima, these, ramah, maidens, saratah, with chariots, saturyah, with musical instruments, na he, never, irdrishah, such like, lambaniyah, obtainable, manushyaih, by mortals, abihi, with them, prattabihi, given by me, paricharayasva, be attended to, Nachiketa, O Nachiketa, maranam, death, ma, do not, anuprakshihi, question about. The exact translation is, whatever desires are difficult to attain in the world of mortals, ask for them according to thy wish. These fair maidens with their chariots and musical instruments, such are indeed not enjoyable by mortals. Be attended by them I will give them to thee. But, O Nachiketa, do not question about the state of the soul after death. Do not question about the state of the soul after death. The explanation is, Yama again tempts Nachiketa further. Nachiketa, please forget it. Do not question about the soul after death. I do not want to reveal. Instead of that, I will give you all enjoyable things which are not enjoyed by the mortals, which are not enjoyed by men in the world. You can have fair maidens with chariots and their musical instruments. All will attend to you. I will make you the enjoyer of all pleasures. But please do not ask for the secret of this, the state of soul after death. Let us see what happens next, in the next verse. Shrobhava martyasya yatantakai sarve indriyanam jarayanti tejaha api sarvam jivitam malpameva tavaiva vahastava nritya gite. Now Nachiketa says, I will decipher. Antakaha, another name for Yama, or death. Shrobhavaha, ephemeral, superficial. Martyasya, of the mortal man. Sarvendriyanam, of all the senses. Yat, what there is. Tejaha, vigor. Jarayanti, wear away. Api, also. Sarvam, all. Jivitam, life. Alpam, short. Alpam, short. Eva, indeed. Tava, thy. Vahaha. Vaha here means horses. Vahanam, vehicles. Vahaha, horses. Nritya Gite. Nritya in Sanskrit means dance. Gite, songs. Nritya Gite. Tava eva, yours alone. The exact translation. Superficial these, O death, these tend to decay. The fire of all the senses in man, even the longest life, is indeed short. Thine alone be the chariots, the dance and the music. So Nachiketa, the bright young Brahmin boy, does not accept the gifts of Yama in lieu of his third boon. He says, all these are short, they are all superficial. Those pleasures enjoyed by the mortals, the human beings, the living species, they are all superficial. Let all the chariots be with you, let all the fair maidens be with you, let all the musical instruments be thy alone, be yours only. So, please note that even the longest life is alpam, is short. Therefore, let all these things be you, including the horses. That's what Nachiketa says. Now let's go to the next verse. Na vittena tarpaniyo manishyo lapsyam hi vittam adrakshma chetva jivishyamo yavadi shishyasi tvam varastu me varaniyah sa eva. Not vittena, by wealth, tarpaniyah, satisfied, manushyaha, man, lapsya, mahe, we will get, vittam, wealth, adrakshma, have seen, cha, also, twa, you, jivishyamaha, we shall live, yavat, so long, ishishyasi, you rule, tvam, you, varaha, boon, tu, but, varaniyaha, to be craved for, may, to be, saha, that, eva, alone. The translation is, man is not to be satisfied by wealth. If wealth were wanted, we shall get it, if we only see you. we shall also live as long as you rule. Therefore, that boon alone is fit to be craved by me. The explanation is, Nachiketa goes himself philosophical. He says, man should not be satisfied by wealth alone. If wealth were wanted, we can get it if only we see you. That is, we see Lord of Death, means we throw away all our fear and see you only, we will get our wealth. We can also live as long as we want because you rule. As long as you rule, we can live as long as we want. Therefore, that boon which I asked for is only fit, and that is being craved by me. So, a young boy does not relent. He again asks Yama to proceed with the boon. Ajiryatam amrutanam upetya jiryan martyah kva thastah prajanan avidhyayan varna rati pramodhan ati dirghe jivite ko rameta. Nachiketa again continues. Ajiryatam, undecaying, amrutanam, immortal, upetya, having approached, jiryanya martyah. Martyah is the mortal, the decaying mortal. They get jirnam, they get digested. The decaying mortal, kwa, when, athasya, being below, prajanan, well knowing, avidhyayan, having thought about, having pondered over, varna, beauty, rati, love, pramodan, pleasures of life, pleasures, ati dirghe, in the long run, ati dirghe, jivite, life, ko rameta, who will rejoice. The translation here is, what decaying mortal living in the world below and possessed of knowledge, after having approached the company of the undecaying and the immortal, after having approached the company of the undecaying and the immortal, will rejoice in the long life, after he has pondered over the nature of the pleasures produced by song and sport. That is, what can we achieve, these mortals living in the long world, after having all the enjoyments in a short life, after pondering over, after enjoying songs, music, dance and all? What can it be when he sees the undecaying and the immortal? After having approached the undecaying and the immortal, what other pleasures in this world can be? Nothing. Because this is eternal pleasure, eternal bliss. After having approached the undecaying and the immortal, and the pleasures enjoyed by the decaying and the mortal, music, song, dance, other pleasures, wealth, kingdom, are all decaying. So this is the explanation. We shall go to the next verse. Now, next verse. Yasmin nidham vichi kitsanti mrityo yat samparaye mahati bruhi nastat yoyam varo guda manupravishto nanyam tasman nachiketa vrinite. Yasmin, in which, idam, this, vichi kitsanti, men doubt, the doubts of men, mrityo, O death, yat, which, samparaye, passing beyond, mahati, great. Bruhi, tell. Naha, to us. Tad, that. Yaha, which. Ayam, this. Varaha, boon. Gudam anupravishtaha, mysterious, hidden. Na anyam, no other. Tasmat, therefore. Nachiketo, Nachiketas. Vrinite, chooses. Slightly a third person is used here. So Nachiketa says, O death, tell us that in which men have this doubt, and which is about the great passing beyond. Nachiketas, do not choose any other boon but that of which knowledge is hidden. So Nachiketa once again in this last verse of section 1 of chapter 1 emphasizes Nachiketas means he doesn't say I, but we Nachiketas. We do not choose any other boon other than the state of knowing what is happening beyond. What is happening beyond? What is a great thing that is happening beyond? Only that boon I am choosing. That is, he insists once again in this last verse that he wants to choose only that. That means the secret of life after death, to put it practically. So with this, we end section 1 of chapter 1. Briefly, here, this is an introductory section for the entire Upanishad. In this section 1, the terse idea is the rishis who have authored this Upanishad have again, like traditional system, Indian system, have chosen an argument, a dialogue between two, the teacher and the pupil. Here it is Lord Yama versus Nachiketa. So Nachiketa goes to the abode of death and asks Lord Yama for 3 boons, which Lord Yama is supposed to give him, because he has stayed in his house for 3 days and 3 nights waiting for Lord Yama, who had supposedly gone out. And being a Brahmin boy, Lord Yama realizes his mistake, atones for the sin, and as an atonement, he grants him 3 boons. And the first boon which Nachiketa chooses was a simple one. He has to go back to his father, do his duties to his parents as a son, and his father should not get angry with him, and his father should sleep peacefully. He should not get perturbed. So this is the duty bound of a young boy, a Brahmin boy, and Lord Yama fulfills this one. From the second and the third starts the mystery. In the second one, the beauty is Nachiketa asks Yama to teach him that fire which Yama only knows, to lead him to heaven. And heaven is what Nachiketa describes as a place wherein there is no birth, there is no death, there is no sorrow, there is no misery, there is no hunger, there is no thirst. And that is a place of immortality. So Nachiketa asks for that, and Yama teaches him. In one of these words, as we have seen, Sa Tvam Agni Swargyam Adhyeshi Mrityu. You know that fire which leads to heaven, he says. And somewhere down, you will see that Yama himself tells that fire is something Jyotirva Adhumaka. It is a Jyoti without smoke. Here, it's what I would like to emphasize on physics, wherein we all know that photons, a particle in physics, is the only particle which does not decay. Photons are light particles, particles found in light. And they do not decay, they do not change their quantum state, and they are copycats of each other. Whereas other particles in physics, right from hydrogen to element 92 uranium, these particles all decay, change their quantum state, and they are not copycats of each other, they differ from each other. You have a Higgs boson which lives up to 10 to the power of minus 22 into 1.67. That means 10 to the power of minus 22 is 10,000th of a trillionth of a second. It lives only that short period. People are not able to even detect unless we have the latest LHC. That means after it changes its quantum state, that is we call death. After it decays into some other body. That is, out of 1,000 times, 2 times it decays into protons, and out of 100 times or out of 1,000 times, 561 times it changes itself into other quarks, and so on. So everything dies. Whereas in uranium-235 takes 700 million years to naturally decay. They also die. They also change their quantum state. But in photons, there is no change of quantum state. So that is that fire which Nachiketa wanted to know only from Yama, not from anybody else. So that he can be a photon, wherein there is no decay, no death, and all are copycats of each other. There is no difference between photons. There is no, as there are difference in other forms of life, like human beings, plants. Every human being is different from each other, and they have the sufferings. That is the beauty in which he asks for that fire which leads to heaven. Without a fire, without smoke, as we could see later on. So by this, he is asking the question, and Lord Yama is going to answer, and that is the secret of life after death.